Hey everyone, I'm here with Kory Helgens. He is the founder of Spring Run Design Co. He sent me this cool hat and some other apparel, but I wanted to have him on. We just recorded a couple episodes of the podcast, so you're going to be check that out when those are released real soon. Kory, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you, Mario?
I'm doing good. How's everything in Iowa?
Good. Just new normal. Being a
That's
stay-at-home teacher.
yeah. Well, you work from home anyway, right? I mean,
I
when you
do.
create your products and such, but now there's other people there while you
Yeah,
work.
yeah. It's
That's
it's been a different dynamic now. I'm a stay-at-home teacher, dad, and during the day, and then at night I start my entrepreneur, and go carve and create, and up late at night, and then back up the next morning to teach again.
yeah. How many hours do you think you work on your business a week?
Oh my gosh. Well, now with the whole coronavirus thing, maybe 30.
Mhm.
Not as much as I want to, but
Yeah.
that's the new normal. So I get enough time. I can create a few things here and there.
Yeah. Do you think being an entrepreneur in general, like I know a lot of entrepreneurs work a lot of hours. They're just
Yep.
always focused on, and I would venture to say those 30 hours are active hours, but
Oh
the
yeah.
other hours you're not there, you're probably still thinking business. You're probably
Correct.
still coming up with ideas.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, so your mind is probably constantly there. Do you
Oh
think
yeah.
as an entrepreneur, it allows you to manually work fewer hours than if you had a real job, but still create an income that surpasses those manual hours?
Yeah, I think so. I think the hours are more efficient. It's more. I definitely, yeah, they're definitely more efficient. I put a lot more work into it because it's something I love, and when you love something, you put everything you have into it. So I don't have to crank out the 60-hour weeks like I used to. I can just do as much stuff in those 30. They're just more filled with efficiency per se.
The 30-hour week compared to the 60-hour weeks that you used to put in when you were in corporate, how do they feel?
They feel great. I can't even explain it. I mean, it doesn't feel like work. Honestly, I almost feel guilty some days because it never feels like work ever, and that's the best part. So it doesn't feel like work. I say 30 hours, but it literally never feels like work. So you can say I almost work 0 hours because I love everything. So
What about the stress level? Is there a lot of stress?
there's some stress. I'm not gonna lie. With owning a business, there's always stress. Trying to be original, I think, is stressful. Getting in stores, trying to be in stores is stressful. It's starting to take off, and as this grows, I'm going to have to probably look at hiring a few people, and I think that's going to bring on some new challenges of the business and new stress. um, I think that it's a different type of stress. Every job has its own stress. I mean, this isn't stress free. I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like work. But yeah, there's still new stress, and um, it's just different.
I always compare it to, and I know it's semantics, but it makes sense in my mind. I'd love to hear your take. Problems as opposed to challenges. I feel like if you're doing what you want to do and you're enjoying it, challenges are always going to come up, but you're more inclined to face those challenges because you know what you want and what you're working towards is waiting on the other side of them.
Right.
Whereas if something shows up as a problem, me anyway, I tend to not want to deal with it. I'll either
Correct.
put it off or go the other way or do something. But to me, that's the difference. When I'm doing what I want to do and a challenge comes up, it's like, okay, this isn't easy, but I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to get through it.
Yep.
Whereas if it's a problem, it's something I don't want to do, I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll get to
Yeah.
it. I'll put it over here. What's your experience been like?
At first, the challenges of the business. That first they started out as problems, I'd say, and then once I realized I could get over those, then they just became challenges, and I knew I could conquer them. I think anybody who's an entrepreneur in those first few years of the business have really big challenges ahead of them, and can you get over them? Yes. I mean, the mentality to get over them, once you get over those challenges, you realize like you can overcome so much and push the business where you've never even seen it going. And before, I was probably afraid of those challenges. Now I welcome them. It brings like a new dynamic to the business, new like ways of doing things, being original, like I said before. Just it brings a whole new thinking process into the business.
I have to ask you this because I know when I'm working on something for my business and it's something like creative, like I'm
Mhm.
working on it, like the podcasts or communicating or design or things like that, where I'm sitting down and I'm in that creative state, I get into the flow and it's like time just
Oh
flies.
yeah.
Like I put my head down and I look up and it's 8 hours later and I'm like, where did that time go? I can't believe it. So like when you're in working and you're making something with, with wood, whether it be a cheese board or a paddle or whatever it may be, does time go like that? Does it just zip
Oh
by?
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you get in this mindset, like the zone for sports, they say. So you're like in that zone and it just flies by in an instant. One time I was making a canoe paddle and I loved it. And before I knew it, like 5 hours flew by. I had no idea. And I had to go pick up my kids from school. I was borderline late. So, I mean, it's just amazing. I love when you get in that zone. It's so creative. And, those moments are just amazing.
If you didn't have to pick up your kids at that point, would you have kept working?
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I probably wouldn't even eat dinner. I probably would just work through the night.
How long
Literally,
can you work in a stretch?
oh my gosh. Without like taking a break. I think I went like 7 hours once. It was insane. I was
With
just
no
in that
break,
zone,
just
no break, no anything, just constantly go, go, go. It was just amazing.
what'd you
Like I
get
said,
done?
well, I think I made two canoe paddles and a cheese board. Um, I think that's what it was that day. I mean, I've had so many of them, but that was the latest one.
Do you remember every piece you make? Do you like take pictures of them and like have like an album and all of that stuff?
I don't. I mean, I have some stuff for social media, but I don't keep track of that stuff because I feel that if I take pictures, I want to copy those designs.
Mm.
I think it's better to be original all the time. I watched this show on Netflix where a chef literally changes up the menu every day every day.
Mm.
And I think that brings creativity and originality. I think I'm the same way where I don't want to copy myself. And so I will not take pictures. I might remember pieces, but I don't want I want everybody to have their own original piece.
Do you compare yourself to other artists? Like, do you see like a piece of yourself in like musicians and chefs and other
Oh yeah.
people who are in the creation space?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean for some reason I really like chefs. I don't know why it appeals to me, but with chefs, I think how original they are, just the creativity. I kind of um, connect with them a little more. It just is. It's just different. I mean, a lot of artists I still connect with too, but for some reason, chefs, the originality, figuring out the ingredients, and then making this amazing plate is just awesome.
That's funny because I was a chef,
Yeah.
but I see myself as more of like when I see musicians, like like I don't have a musical bone in my body, but when I see a
Right.
singer songwriter at the top of their craft, there's something there. There's some kind of connection there that just
Yeah.
draws me in, and it's like I don't know. I just feel like I understand it, even though I
Yeah.
couldn't play a piano if you put me behind it.
I know. In the same way with chefs out there, like on Netflix, I watch Chef's Table, and like, oh, I connect with them, but I'm not that great of a cook. I mean, I can hold my own, but nothing like
Nah,
they can. But
I get
you
it,
have
man.
this connection.
I love the creativity. I love what you're doing. I want to, remind people, just give you a little plug. Springrundesign.com is where they can find you. I mean, the apparel, the stuff that Kory makes, the cheese board that I have. I did a video on that on Facebook, so you can go to my Facebook and see that. And the jewelry, he just does so much. So go there, check him out, support him. He's a local artist. He's in Iowa, so he's a local U.S. artist doing really cool things, and he's using products that would be thrown to the wayside otherwise. So go support him. Check that out. And also be ready. I'm going to release our podcast episodes that we recorded real soon. Kory, thanks so much, man, for being here and for everything you shared on the podcast and coming and doing this video with me on these casual conversations. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.